There's a terrifying notion, an idea that can shake the very foundations of what you thought was certain. It's not a comforting doctrine, but a hammer blow struck directly at apathy and cowardice. This is the concept of eternal recurrence. The thought that every moment you are living, every decision you are making, every suffering and joy you are experiencing will repeat infinitely, precisely as it is, without the slightest change for all eternity. Let this idea sink into your mind. Don't shy away from it. Don't soothe it with cheap comforts. Face it nakedly. If this life, with all its trivial details, its shameful moments, its resounding successes, were to unfold exactly the same way one more time, and then again, and again, forever, how would you feel? Would you collapse under the weight of that repetition? Or would you shout a resounding yes with fierce intensity? This isn't a mere theoretical question. This is the ultimate test of your life, of your will. It's a scalpel cutting through truth, exposing the true nature of what you are doing, of how you are living. Most of humanity seeks solace in sweet lies, in illusions of a paradise after death, where all mistakes are forgiven. But eternal recurrence allows no such escape. It forces you to confront the naked reality of every action, every word, every thought. Facing regret. The first thing you must do is look directly at your moments of regret. The unspoken words, the missed opportunities, the wrong decisions, the acts of cowardice. If these things were to repeat forever, would you accept them? Regret is an indictment of your past weakness, your lack of courage. It's a burden dragging you down, imprisoning you in the shadow of an unfulfilled self. To overcome it, you must stop avoiding. You must see it not as a disaster, but as a harsh reminder of what you need to change. Regret isn't just an emotion. It's a door opening to the truth about your unfulfilled choices. It echoes the reverberations of paths you dared not take, words you dared not speak, actions you dared not perform. If these echoes were to resonate endlessly, ceaselessly, you would be haunted by your own mediocre decisions. Therefore, facing regret is an act of courage, a first step to reclaiming control of your life from the ghosts of the past, shattering the illusion of easy forgiveness. Society often preaches forgiveness, about letting go of mistakes. But eternal recurrence has no room for superficial forgiveness. If you knew that every time you retreated, every time you compromised your conscience would be repeated infinitely, would you still easily forgive yourself? True forgiveness comes from atonement through action, through self-transformation, not from oblivion or condoning weakness. The concept of forgiveness in a social context is often a release from responsibility, a comfort that allows you to continue living without needing to change. However, eternal recurrence shatters that illusion. If you continue to repeat the same mistakes, the same acts of cowardice, then forgiveness is just a cruel joke on yourself. True forgiveness can only come when you have changed your behavior, when you have acted to prove that you have become stronger, wiser. It demands atonement through deeds, not through words. Identifying deep-seated cowardice. Cowardice isn't just running from danger, it's also intellectual cowardice, the cowardice of facing the truth about yourself. It's choosing the easy path, choosing comfort over growth. It's living a life without clear purpose, allowing the opinions of others to define you. Eternal recurrence exposes this cowardice most mercilessly. If you continue to live a cowardly life, could you endure its endless repetition? Cowardice often hides under the guise of prudence, humility, or accepting fate. But in reality, It's the fear of facing personal responsibility. The fear of standing up and determining your own life. Eternal recurrence is an unyielding mirror, showing you clearly the moments you shrank back, conceded to external pressures, and dared not live up to your potential. When you realize that every cowardly act will be repeated forever, you will feel an irresistible urge to change, to become braver. It is in the present moment that your supreme power is manifested. You cannot change the past, but you can recreate the present in a way that you would want it to repeat eternally. Living with the will to power. The will to power is not about dominating others, but about dominating yourself. It's the will to grow, to overcome, to become stronger. Eternal recurrence poses a direct question. Do you have enough will to want your life to repeat forever? If the answer is no, then you must act immediately. Every action you take must be an expression of the will to power, an affirmation that you are the master of your own life. The will to power isn't a vague concept. It's an intrinsic driving force, an intense desire to become the best version of yourself. When you live with the awareness of eternal recurrence, you will no longer accept mediocrity. You will be driven by an unceasing craving to perfect yourself, to transform every moment into an expression of strength and purpose. This demands iron discipline and extraordinary self-mastery, because you must constantly struggle against the natural tendencies of laziness and ease. Recreating personal values. Society provides you with a set of pre-existing values, but are those values strong enough for you to want them to repeat forever? You must dare to break away from blindly inherited values and forge your own values that align with your deepest self. These values must be a guiding fire, a driving force for all your actions. When you live by the values you have chosen and affirmed yourself, you will never have to regret. Recreating personal values is an internal revolution. It requires you to question everything you've been taught, every belief you've accepted without thinking. You must discover what truly matters to you, what brings the deepest meaning to your existence. Once you've identified these core values, make them the compass for all your actions. You will no longer live a passive life, but a life guided by your own will and ideals. Acting immediately, no tomorrow. The concept of eternal recurrence completely eliminates the idea of, I'll change tomorrow, or I'll do it later. If everything repeats, then every moment you delay, every second you waste, will be repeated infinitely. This demands that you act with utmost urgency, with an awareness that every moment holds eternal value. Procrastination is a form of death. Procrastination is the silent enemy of all great aspirations. It erodes your will, turning dreams into unfulfilled regrets. When you face eternal recurrence, procrastination becomes an unbearable burden. Every time you say later, you are stamping a moment of regret onto your eternal being. Therefore, act immediately. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't look for reasons to delay. Every moment is an opportunity for you to engrave something great into eternity. Transforming suffering into strength. Life is full of suffering and challenges. The weak complain, the mediocre avoid. But Superman, who embraces eternal recurrence, will transform every suffering into an opportunity to temper themselves. Every failure is a lesson. Every scar is proof of resilience. If you knew that all suffering would repeat, you would want to transform it into a moment of growth, of ascension, rather than of weakness. Pain is not a punishment. It's a teacher. It tests your limits, exposes your weaknesses, and forces you to seek an inner strength you never knew you had. If you knew that these challenges would repeat, you would learn to embrace them. not with pessimism, but with the determination to overcome and become stronger after each stumble. Every tear, every scar will become a badge of honor, proof of your unwavering will. When you accept eternal recurrence, your life is no longer a random sequence of events. It becomes a work of art that you are constantly creating, becoming the creator of your life. You are the painter. Your life is the canvas. You are the sculptor. Your life is the stone block. Every moment is a brushstroke, a chisel mark. If this painting were to hang eternally, would you dare to paint carelessly? If this sculpture were to exist forever, would you dare to carve superficially? Live with the spirit of an artist, meticulous in every detail, craving perfection. Creativity isn't just about making new things. It's about shaping your life according to your will. It's about transforming ordinary moments into extraordinary experiences. With eternal recurrence, you have a powerful incentive to continuously perfect your work. You will not accept anything less than excellence, because you know that every stroke, every detail will be eternal. Don't seek external validation. If your life is an eternal work of art, then its value does not lie in the approval of others. It lies in its completeness, its authenticity, and its inherent strength. Don't live to please others. Live to create a masterpiece you'll be proud of when it repeats forever. External validation is a fleeting illusion. It changes with time, with the opinions of the masses. Superman, who accepts eternal recurrence, understands that the true value of life lies in being true to yourself, in living by the values you have chosen for yourself. You don't need applause from the crowd. You only need satisfaction from yourself. Looking back at a life lived fully and without regret, a life you would be happy to repeat infinitely. Discovering inner strength. Eternal recurrence doesn't allow you to rely on any external power. It forces you to find strength within yourself. The strength to face the truth, the strength to change, the strength to take full responsibility for your life. This is the solitude of the great, but also absolute freedom. Inner strength is the greatest treasure you possess. Eternal recurrence is the test for you to discover and develop that strength. It forces you to confront your greatest fears, the limits you've set for yourself. And when you overcome those things, you will realize an infinite resource within you, an energy that can shape your world as you desire. Rediscovering the value of everything. In the light of eternal recurrence, even the most mundane things can hold profound meaning. A peaceful moment, a smile, a tear, all are elevated into pieces of an eternal whole. Cherish every moment, every experience, for they will be eternal. When you live with the awareness that everything will repeat forever, you will no longer dismiss anything as trivial. A morning cup of coffee, a conversation with a loved one, a ray of sunlight streaming through the window, all become precious and meaningful. You will learn to find beauty and greatness in the smallest things in life, because you know that they will be a part of eternity. Eternal recurrence is not a threat, but a call of destiny. It's an opportunity for you to elevate your life to a new level of meaning, becoming an affirmative of life. Instead of living a life full of denial, full of regret, become an affirmative of life. Say yes to every moment, every experience, every choice you make. This is a powerful affirmation of will, a declaration that you love your life enough to want it to repeat forever. Affirming life is not blind optimism. It's a courageous choice to embrace every aspect of existence, both light and shadow. When you accept eternal recurrence, you are no longer a victim of fate. You become its co-author. Every time you say yes to a challenge, a pain, a joy, you are asserting your will, declaring your mastery over your life. Living a life with eternal purpose. When you view your life through the lens of eternal recurrence, every action you take carries immense weight. You don't just live for the present, but also for eternity. This compels you to seek a higher purpose, a deeper meaning for your existence. A life with eternal purpose is not a life chasing fleeting goals. It's a life guided by your deepest values, by your most intense desires. When you know that everything will repeat forever, you won't waste time on meaningless things. You will pour all your energy into creating a meaningful life, a legacy you'll be proud to have endlessly replayed. Rising above nihilism. Facing endless repetition can lead to nihilism, the feeling that everything is meaningless. But Superman, who embraces eternal recurrence, will rise above this nihilism. It is from the acceptance that there is no fixed meaning, that you will create meaning for your life through your will, through your creativity, through your love of fate. Nihilism is a dangerous trap. It can paralyze your will and plunge you into apathy. However, eternal recurrence offers an escape. By accepting the truth that life has no fixed meaning, you can be free to create your own meaning. You become the one who redefines values, who carves purpose into your existence. This is a liberating power, transforming emptiness into an infinite space for creativity and affirmation. Lessons from Nietzsche. Nietzsche offered this idea not to make you despair, but to challenge you to live a life so great that you would crave its endless repetition. It's a call for you to rise up, to overcome your limitations, and to become the architect of your own destiny. The idea of eternal recurrence is Nietzsche's touchstone. It's not for the faint of heart or those who seek comfort. It's for courageous souls, for those who dare to confront the naked truth of existence. It's an invitation for you to live a life so full that you'll never regret a single moment, because you know that every one of those moments will be eternal. Your life is unfolding right now. Every choice, every action is part of an eternal flow. Will you let it drift by meaninglessly, or will you carve it into a masterpiece? You'll be proud to have repeated forever. You have no turning back. The concept of eternal recurrence has been presented. It is looking straight at you, demanding an answer. Will you live a life full of regret as it repeats? Or will you live a life so great that you'll shout, yes, and embrace it forever? The choice is yours. Act now, because every moment is eternal. The concept of eternal recurrence isn't just an abstract philosophical exercise. It's a practical tool to shape your daily life. It compels a fundamental shift in how you approach your time, energy, and relationships. Optimizing time. When you realize that every single moment will repeat infinitely, wasting time becomes an unacceptable transgression. Every moment of procrastination, every hour spent on unproductive activities will multiply into eternal regret. Eternal recurrence forces you to become a master of time management, not out of fear, but out of an intense desire to fill every moment with meaning and purpose. You will ask yourself, if I spend these 30 minutes scrolling social media, would I want to repeat that forever? This question will immediately cause you to change your behavior, steering you towards activities that bring true value to your life and to the world. Elevating relationship quality. Your relationships with those around you will also be illuminated by the light of eternal recurrence. Harsh words, selfish actions, and a lack of care won't just exist for a moment, but will repeat forever. This compels you to become a better friend, a more loving partner, a more thoughtful family member. You will learn to cherish every interaction, every conversation, because they are eternal pieces in the tapestry of your life. You will seek to build genuine, profound relationships. Relationships you'll be proud to see repeat infinitely, encouraging continuous learning and growth. If this life will repeat forever, then ceasing to learn and grow is an unacceptable stagnation. Eternal recurrence fosters an unceasing craving to expand knowledge, hone skills, and explore new ideas. You will never feel content with what you already know, but will always yearn to push your own limits. Every book you read, every skill you acquire, every new experience you have will be a valuable addition to your eternal self. Reshaping health habits. Physical and mental health are the foundation for all your endeavors. If you knew that your body and mind would repeat forever in their current state, you would have a powerful incentive to take the best possible care of them. Diet, exercise, sleep, and stress management will no longer be optional choices, but top priorities. You will seek to create a healthy and sustainable lifestyle, one you'll be happy to see repeat infinitely. Confronting difficult decisions. When faced with major decisions, eternal recurrence provides a powerful frame of reference. Ask yourself, if I make this decision and it repeats forever, will I live a life I'm proud of? This question will help you strip away distractions, external pressures, and focus on what truly matters to your authentic self and your will. It will compel you to make bold choices, choices aligned with the greatest version of yourself. Eternal recurrence isn't a concept you merely understand theoretically. It is a state of consciousness, a way of living. Practicing presence. To truly live with the notion of eternal recurrence, you must practice presence in every moment. This means you are completely focused on what is happening right now, undistracted by the past or worried about the future. When you are fully present, you can deeply perceive every choice and action you make and feel their eternal weight. Cultivating self-compassion. While eternal recurrence demands rigor with yourself, it also encourages self-compassion. You will make mistakes, you will stumble. But instead of dwelling in regret, you will learn to extract lessons, rise, and continue forging. Self-compassion allows you to move forward unburdened by past errors, knowing that you can change and create a better version for the eternal repetition. Finding greatness in the mundane. When every moment is eternal, nothing is trivial. A blooming flower, a passing cloud, a morning dewdrop, all carry a profound beauty and meaning. Eternal recurrence expands your capacity for perception, helping you find greatness in the smallest things in life. This transforms daily life into a rich and meaningful experience. Living as though unjudged. If everything will repeat, then the opinions of others about you become meaningless. You don't live to be judged. You live to create a masterpiece for yourself. This frees you from anxiety about others' perceptions and allows you to live an authentic life, unconstrained by societal expectations. Building an eternal legacy. Eternal recurrence isn't just about living a life without regret. It's about creating a legacy you'll be proud to have repeat forever. This could be a work of art, a meaningful career, a happy family, or a life that inspired others. The ultimate goal is to leave your mark on the world, a mark you'll be glad to have eternally etched. This life is a gift, but also a tremendous responsibility. With the notion of eternal recurrence, you have a powerful compass to live a full, meaningful, and regret-free life. Do you dare to accept this challenge? Do you dare to live a life you would crave to have repeated endlessly? The answer lies in your every action, right now, in this very moment.